Alright, what's up, guys? So, here's what I personally think that if KSI and Jake Paul were to box right now, like let's say the contracts get signed, they're scheduling it all, and they're actually gonna fight. They're gonna box finally. Here's what I personally think, and people could agree with me, people can disagree with me. I'm not saying that it's an actual fact of what I'm going to say, but this is just what I personally think. Now, speaking on both of them, Jake Paul, talented boxer. I mean, honestly, he's somebody I feel like he's a content creator. I had to say, out of all the content creators that has done boxing events, he has went the distance. So I do feel like that Jake Paul has a lot more experience when it comes to boxing, and then also having his first loss. I do feel like that, now he has an edge to himself to where when he does get into his next boxing match, and let's say if it is against KSI. Well, so here's the thing, because I had just finished watching this clip of him on Impulsive, and he's talking about like the aftermath of that Tommy Fury fight. And that's his. I think that is going to be his next fight, is a rematch against Tommy Fury. So here's what I personally think, that after this fight, I think he is going to have an edge. And I think that with this next fight against Tommy Fury, that Tommy Fury is going to see a much more challenging opponent, talking on Jake Paul. And maybe Jake Paul wins, maybe he doesn't. It's kind of hard to say. Like, I want to say that, he's going to win. See, here's what I personally think. I think Jake Paul would win that next fight against Tommy Fury. It then ends up being a trilogy fight. And then both of these guys now have like an edge against each other, where it's like, okay, now let's really see who's going to win this and take this home. So that's why I can't really say, like, if this second fight between the both of them, or when this second fight between the both of them, when it happens, that like one or the other, it's like declaring like the final winner, because I think that's how most fights are. It's like, with like, if one wins, the other one wins, then there's that last fight where it just it finishes off the story and stuff. So I do think that Jake Paul is going to have a little bit more experience in training, and I think with KSI, it's like he's on this high where it's like, no, and don't get me wrong, KSI, he's a talented boxer too. Like, no, that's one thing I'm not going to take away from that man, but I just feel like that, going based off of his past few opponents. I mean, he did do the 2 boxing matches in one night, so I do feel like that he is showcasing that he's like, I have what it takes to go up against anybody, but still, it's just like, it's like the same thing with Jake Paul. It's like Jake Paul had to go up against like an actual boxer, somebody that knows what they're doing, not somebody that just started recently training for boxing. Like, no, he went up against somebody that's like around his age range, around his size, knows what they're doing. It comes from a boxing background. So I think that's why Jake Paul lost, because it's like, you're going up against somebody now with a boxing background. So that's why, me personally, I think, but I do think that, this loss has humbled him to where now he has the full experience. Because even Floyd Mayweather has lost fights. I mean, he hasn't lost professional fights, but if you look up his amateur record, he lost. He lost, I think, how many fights did they say Floyd lost? How many fights did Floyd Mayweather lose? I know they're gonna probably like speaking being high as the fact that there's one fight. I mean, strongly he lost. Okay, well, amateur boxing. What is this? I looked up amateur boxing, and it's like, how many, let's just go to his Wikipedia, because Wikipedia tell you that stuff a lot faster. For some reason, when you Google things, Google just has like some random stuff pop up. They talking about his one of his children. I'm like, all I just want to know is how many boxing matches did Floyd Mayweather lose in his amateur career. By the way, talking about Floyd Mayweather, that is crazy though, like him running up on Jake Paul with like 100 dudes. I'm like, nah, I don't know about that one, man. I'm like, that's something where it's like, I think you should maybe, you should have did that a little bit differently and things. But they don't even have like his amateur career and stuff. Do they have like kind of exhibition amateur career? All right, so 8 losses. Yeah, so he had some, even he's had some losses. And I think, like, you know, a loss, it humbles a person and it makes them stronger and it makes them more driven with boxing. So getting back to, you know, like, you know, KSI and Jake Paul, here's what I personally think. You know, if, let's say, if KSI doesn't go up against no actual boxers and stuff, because I think for the most part, let me check real quick. Not that I know of, I don't think KSI is, I think for the most part, he's just went up against content creators and stuff. And that's why I'm like, you know, he needs to go up against somebody that has, like, a boxing background, and then, you know, he'll yeah, so he's went up against you know, some big content creators, and then it's like he had that draw with Logan Paul and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, he hasn't really had like that, you know, that humbling like loss and things. So I here's what I think. I think that, you know, KSI, he does need to go up against some actual boxers. Once when he does that, and I'm not trying to say that in a disrespect, because like, if you guys know me, you know I'm a fan of KSI, but I have to, you know, just overall, like, you know, split it down the middle. Like, okay, like, I'm not trying to be a fan of one. I'm not trying to be a fan of the other. I'm just speaking from a point of view where it's like, let's say if I didn't know them, but I'm interested in boxing. All right. So, but I think KSI, he needs to go up against some boxers, get a little bit more experience. Then when he goes and takes on this fight with Jake Paul, then I feel like it would be a solid fight. But me personally, if the fight were to happen right now, I think Jake Paul will win. I think it'll either end in a draw, an upset, or Jake Paul is winning. But I just don't. I can't put my money on KSI just based off of his boxing matches. And no, don't get me wrong. It's like I said, KSI, he is an extremely talented boxer. But I think what he needs to do is go up against somebody that actually boxes. Because this ain't no different than that one scene in Creed, the very first Creed, when Michael B. Jordan, he showed up to that training camp, and he's like, I'll take on anybody, I'll put up my Mustang, all this other stuff. And he went up against that first dude, he easily took him out, because why? That was probably like, what, his first day in boxing and stuff. And then, well, no, I think they did say that the guy, he had like a little bit of a record, but he was going up against somebody that, you know, had like some more experience than him. And I feel like when you have somebody with like equal experience or a little bit more experience than you, then that's when you have to like really showcase like who you are as a boxer. So yeah, me personally, I think if they were to go at it right now, I think Jake Paul will win that fight, because based off of this loss with Tommy Fury, and, you know, just with his experience that he's had, I think that you know, he's a little bit more trained. But I think KSI, he's trained too. I'm not trying to take that away from him, but I just think that Jake Paul now has a little bit more in him when it comes to boxing and stuff. So, but no, we'll just have to wait and see and things. And you know, when that day does come, like you best believe I'm gonna be watching that fight. So, anyways, but yeah. Stay tuned for some more videos. And I guess if you guys have like anything to say, like I said, I'm not trying to say this to or do this video to argue with people. I'm just stating how I feel. If you agree with me, you agree with me. If you disagree with me, that's cool too. I don't care. All right. So anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.